Hello, are you planning a cruise in 2024 or beyond? Well, before you set sail, knowing all the items that are prohibited on a cruise ship to ensure a smooth boarding process is crucial. This video breaks down the complete list of items you cannot bring on a cruise ship, including common misconceptions and surprising restrictions. From safety concerns to onboard policies, we cover everything you need to know to avoid any hassles at the port. Whether you're a first-time cruiser or a seasoned traveler, understanding these rules will help you pack efficiently and enjoy your trip without worries. Guys, stay with us. We'll be right back after this so I can introduce the cast to you.
Welcome into the Conscious Cruiser podcast, the know before you go approach to cruising and travel. The smartest cruiser is the Conscious Cruiser. And your conscious casters, Alisa, Chet, and Scott.
Didn't mean to do that. Hold on, y'all. We have technical difficulties once in a while. I don't even know where that's at. There it is. That's what happens when you have Sea Leg Journeys in your show. But yeah, thanks for joining us here at the the Conscious Cruiser. We're here with Scott from Controversial Cruising and Alisa from Lisa's Adventures in Cruising. Guys, I am tongue-tied because we have been through a hurricane down here in Florida. So bear with me as I settle down over here this morning. And we're going to talk to you on episode 11 here. Things that you need to know that you cannot bring on a cruise ship and things that you can that you may not have known about. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing well. In your defense, we handed you a lot of C's there. There was a lot of C words that you had to get through there, Chet. So I'm doing well. I am glad to hear that you and Alisa are safe. I also have other co-hosts too among the YouTube and Spotify streets that are from Florida. So I'm glad to hear that everybody is recovering, and I'm glad to hear that you guys are safe. So
yeah, it's been a week, huh, Chet? It's been interesting down here, but thankfully we are doing okay and just ready to recharge and talk about our favorite thing. Cruising.
That's right. And we're getting dangerously close to going on a cruise. I know I'm going on one in a few matter of days now, and so is Scott. Lisa just got back from one, and some of the stuff we needed to know is what could we take on these cruises and what could we not. So hey, let's hit it up with our first question. Are you guys ready for this?
Ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about this. It's going to get a little controversial. I like it.
Uh-oh.
Well, what can I bring with me on a cruise ship? What can I bring? Maybe it's something I didn't know I could bring, something that I thought I couldn't bring. Go ahead, Scott. Let me know. What can I bring that I maybe didn't know?
All right, let's see. So I'm going to give you. I love the double header, so I'm gonna hit it off, and I'm going to give two double headers because there have been a lot of rumors on the internet about. There maybe not. Let's say rumors, but there are some cruise companies that have banned the surge protectors and banned the long strips that have a lot of plugs. This one is going to be allowed no matter what. And you may or may not think, and people have already posted it in Facebook groups on Carnival and on other Facebook groups, but your European plug that will help you change that weird hole that you're like, what is that for? Is that for the housekeeping to plug the vacuum in? No, that is a European plug. You can use an adapter. You can bring an adapter. It is approved by every cruise line, and most of them have a lot of slots on them for USB-C, USB-A. They also have a plug in the front sometimes. So that is something that you can always bring with you, and you don't have to ask anybody. And it makes your life a whole lot easier if you are somebody that uses an American plug system, let's just say, because we do have some international followers. My second one, too, here's something that I didn't realize that not a lot of people know. And maybe you don't enjoy this on a cruise, but I like to bring some snacks. keep them sealed and keep them in the original bag. But let's say if you like grass-fed beef jerky, or if you like certain sunflower seeds or peanuts or something like that, you can bring those on, but you just keep them sealed in the bag that you actually had them in, and you'll be allowed to have them in your cabin. And sometimes you like that hometown snack, even over the pizza late at night. So yeah, I am guilty of that. I always bring some snacks.
That's great.
That's true. Those are both good tips. Yeah, good tips.
What you got, Alisa?
Sorry.
What have you got for us, Alisa?
I really like that one, because Scott, because I always look at that European outlet and go, what could I do with that? So I'm going to add that to my list of things to pick up, a new adapter, so you have more space to plug things in there. This is mine is very low tech, but yeah, all that kind of stuff you can find. I'm sure you can find on Amazon, right? What did we do before Amazon? But mine is a kind of a low tip, but I really like it. I bring the magnetic hooks. And the magnetic hooks are handy because, if you didn't know, the cabin walls are metallic. They're made of metal. So if you're traveling if it's just yourself, or if there's more than one person in the cabin, that desk area gets cluttered up pretty quick. And I like to be able to at least find my lanyard with my sail and sign card easily. So I will put the hooks on the wall. I'm gesturing. I know you guys aren't listening on Spotify, can't see me, but I'm gesturing, hanging the metallic hook on the wall, and I can hang my hats. I can hang my lanyard. You could hang something to dry if you needed to, nothing super heavy, but a bathing suit, a towel, something like that, if you needed it. And they pack easily, and they are definitely allowed, but most people don't think about magnets.
Not considered a weapon either. That is
considered a weapon.
Yeah, these aren't big Captain Hook size hooks that
We're small.
Well, I like the double header, Scott, so I'm going to throw a double header at you too. The first one, I get a lot of questions on this, is can I bring a fan? So I looked it up, and yes, you can bring a fan as long as it's no larger than 12 inches in diameter. And like Alisa, I too am gesturing with my hands 12 inches wide right now. So picture that if you're driving right now. And 12 inches or smaller, you can bring a fan, okay? Not a big one. Don't bring your big fan from the shop, y'all.
We look like we're taking tater tots out of the oven, Chet, you and I, like oven mitts.
Careful.
I'm getting hungry now. Thanks, Scott. The second thing is, you can bring your wheelchair and scooter. The big question is, can I bring my personal scooter? Well, that depends on what size it is. Now, I got some up here from Carnival here. Oh, wow, that's not the one I was looking for. Where is it? It's over here. Restrictions on your wheelchair stuff. Excuse me, I got it from Princess. Carnival Princess welcomes passengers with mobility issues and offers several policies for mobility scooters and other mobility devices. You can bring them as long as the mobility device is no wider than 22 inches if you're going to be in a standard stateroom. If you're going to be in a accessible stateroom, it can be no wider than 31 inches. So number one, you need to know which stateroom you have. And number two, you need to know how wide your scooter is. Because if it's wider than what you have and they don't have a place for you to put it, a cabin for you to put it in, you're going to have to leave it behind. You cannot bring it in. You
can't leave it in the hallway. Yes.
That's right. You can't leave it in the hallway. You can't leave it by the elevators. We used to see a lot of that. Scooters in the hallway, scooters parked by the elevator, charging up. They're not going to allow that anymore. So you make sure you get with your travel advisor or the cruise line itself. Let them know the dimensions of your scooter and or wheelchair, and let them see that your cabin matches up. And if it doesn't, see if they can get you into a cabin that will. And if not, you're probably going to have to rent a scooter, which is no problem. You can actually go through the cruise line. They have a website you can go to and get the right size scooter sent right to the ship. No hassle. You get there and it's there for you. So just want you to know that before you go. You can bring it if it meets the guidelines of the cruise line. And so that's what I got on that right there for you.
Very good tip.
All right.
Is that, Chet, do you think that's new, them publishing the dimensions before? Because like you said, you used to see the wheelchair sometimes left in the hallway, and you know, obviously the hallways are narrow, so that becomes a safety concern for the rest of the passengers trying to get in and around. But we know it's necessary. So like, do you think that was publicized before, the actual dimensions?
It was, because I've been filling these forms out since I've had to use a wheelchair since 2016. So I know I've had to fill out these forms before I go, regardless of what cruise line it was. I've been on 6 different cruise lines, and all of them have had a form that you got to go on there and fill out. And it's going to ask you how wide your wheelchair or scooter is, how long it is, how high it is, how much does it weigh, what kind of battery it has, because some batteries
that's important.
are important that you can't bring those either. So make sure you check on that, guys, before you get there, because they will not let you on anymore. And I think a lot of that is because, like I said, in the past, it was getting kind of crazy. I've been on a cruise ship where I'm at the end of the hall and it's a long way down to the elevator, and I'm in the wheelchair trying to get by, and there's 3 or 4 scooters parked in the hallway. You can't get around them. Luckily for me, I can hop on one leg and fold my wheelchair up and hop around these. Trust me, it ain't fun, but most people in a wheelchair probably can't do that.
Right.
So they've had to take this issue seriously and say, we can't do this no more. We can't do it no more. It's a hazard.
Great tip all around. Great tip.
All right, y'all ready for number 2?
I always learn from you guys.
So much information.
Well, there's a lot more wheelchairs and scooters on a ship than there used to be.
There definitely are, Chet. You are right and correct about that.
Used to be 1 or 2. Now there's 50. Yep. But hey, we got another question for y'all, though. What is an item that is prohibited on all cruise lines? All cruise lines. This is stuff that you can't take on any ship. Carnival, MSC, Virgin, Celebrity, anybody. What have we got? Alisa, you can be the first one on this one.
I think I've talked about this before too. I'm a girl who likes to iron. I do. I still iron.
Ooh.
I know you can, take the stuff out the dryer. I like to iron. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I do miss that you cannot bring an iron or a steamer on some of the cruise ships. Like Carnival normally has a laundry facility with an iron and ironing board that you can go and touch up stuff if you need to, or you can send it to be pressed by their laundry service. But you cannot bring your iron or your steamer from home.
How about your hair straightening iron?
Your curling iron, you can if it's in good shape. So don't bring the one with the questionable wire. Come on, girls, you know what I'm talking about. The old one that you've had, your tried and true. Bring the nice one in good shape, so you don't get stopped by that.
Yes. And sometimes even if you look up, I know in Carnival and the old ones, there's actually a plug just for the hair dryers and just for the straightening hair, curling iron, straightening iron. Sorry, girls, don't come at me. But there's one up. If you look up to your right, there's a plug there just for it.
Yeah, I always thought that was more for the electric shavers, because now they have the usually the hair dryer is in the vanity area in the desk. In one of the drawers. Sometimes they're under the vanity in the bathroom, but I can't reach that one normally all the way up, so I have to move it.
Yeah, I think that one's more for men's shavers, and like you say, the blow dryers are usually out in the vanities now.
Yeah,
that seems to be where we're heading anyway. Okay, Scott, what have you got? What's something that we cannot bring on any cruise ship?
Easy for me. Easy, and it's probably the most asked thing. No, maybe not the most asked, but I get asked a lot about it, and I do work in it. But leave the devil's lettuce at home. Leave the gummies at home. Leave the sleep gummies at home. Even if they just have a little bit of CBD, leave them at home because the ports that you're going to are restricted. And it doesn't matter if you're, I'm coming from San Francisco, I live in San Francisco and Italy. It doesn't matter. Leave them at home because they don't play by those state rules. It is a federal.
Correct.
They follow federal and international laws. So leave them at home. Save yourself the possibility. Don't be the one that tries to smuggle them on, because you know what? You'll be a news story, and just leave them behind. So all cruise lines you don't even have to say, well, is Disney different, or is Princess different, or is Royal different? No, none of them are different. Keep them at home. Enjoy them when you get back. Have fun.
And they can actually ban you for life from cruising because of that. So keep that in mind. Is it worth bringing your CBD gummies on the ship and then get banned? I don't think that's worth it, y'all. Leave all that stuff at home. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on here. Did you know you cannot bring helium-filled balloons? If you're having a birthday party or something on the ship and your embarkation day, they're not going to let you bring them on? I didn't know that. I found a whole list of stuff. I found out I got to leave my handcuffs at home.
Oh, man.
Leave them at home. Leave them
a whole page of restricted items, y'all. I went on to Carnival, to see what is restricted. We could sit here and talk for 5 minutes just reading the list. A lot of stuff. A lot of it's just common sense stuff, like Scott's saying. Illegal drugs.
Weapons.
Of
any kind.
Of any kind. Swords, throwing stars, whatever, bows and arrows. Anything can be used as a weapon. Leave it at home. You can't take it.
And they're even saying now, too, because we're approaching the scary, spooky season, even fake ones, Chet, they're saying that they're not allowing. It has to be styrofoam and look like it's, the sword is yellow, so it looks, completely fake. But if you got one with dripping blood off of it, they're like, nope, can't use it. I don't care if you're Jason or if you're Freddy or who you are, can't use it. They consider it still a weapon. I mean, technically, you could still, hit somebody with that. So, but yeah, they consider it still a weapon. So leave them at home as we're approaching spooky season.
Yeah, and we're going on a Halloween cruise, and Scott is as well. So we considered that when we decided what we were going to dress up as. I'm going to dress up like a pirate, but I'm not going to take the sword because it could look kind of realistic from a distance, So,
you could take Alisa's little hooks, and you can just be a little pirate with a tiny little baby hook.
A little tiny baby? That's a brilliant idea.
Baby.
I'm going to write that idea down so I don't forget it. That's brilliant. So when y'all see me next month when I put my Halloween video up and you see me with a little tiny baby hook, you'll know I got that idea from Scott and Lisa.
Conscious Cruiser. They know before you go. We get you hooked every time.
Hey, now nobody steal my costume idea.
Don't steal his hook, you guys. Don't steal his hook.
Don't steal my hook.
I know you're a handy guy. You're a fix-it kind of guy. Do you have any little hand tools? I shouldn't say, I'm not talking about the tools. I'm just saying, you have one of those Swiss Army knife or multi-utility type tools that you maybe second guess, don't bring it because you can't bring a drill, you can't bring pliers, that kind of thing. Do you ever think about that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Because usually those multi-tools have a knife in it. Yes. And so that automatically disqualifies it. Now some people have asked me in the past too about scissors. They like bringing those tiny little scissors, that come in the nipper kit. You can take those because the blades are under 4 inches long. But yeah, that's one of those things. So if you got one of those little sewing kits or little manicure kits, and it's got the little tiny scissors in them, they're okay. You're okay with that. But the Swiss Army knife thing or multi-tool, like Elisa's asking about, now I leave mine at home because yes, I do have one. I do. I'm not going to fix anything on the ship. I probably don't need a knife. If I do, they got a steak knife at the dining table. I can grab it.
You know what I use those little scissors in the manicure thing for?
People like to be prepared.
What do you use them for, Scott?
I use them to cut open my snacks.
Of course. I
thought that's what they were for.
Your snacks.
Well, they are if you use them that way. Oh boy! Hey guys, we're going to come
He's
back
neatly
with
cutting open the snacks. Most of us just rip it.
Yeah, I rip mine and they go everywhere. We'll be back with question number 3, guys, right after this.
Ready to set sail on a sea of knowledge? Have you checked out the Conscious Cruiser podcast on Spotify? Well, what are you waiting for? Every week, our podcast is packed with all your cruising essentials. Whether you're driving to work, driving someone crazy, or driving to your next cruise port, pop on the Conscious Cruiser. We've got the best know before you go cruise and travel tips. It's like having a cruise expert in your pocket. So give us a follow, give us a listen, and let's make your next cruise the best one yet. Don't miss out on the fun. Join the Conscious Cruiser community today. Now, back to the Conscious Casters.
I tell you what, that makes me want to go listen to somebody on Spotify, you know?
Like us, the Conscious Cruiser podcast. All 11 episodes are up, and we simultaneously stream them at the same time that this goes live every Monday at 8:30 in the morning EST.
Yes, we alternate around through our YouTube channels, the 3 of us. This week it'll be on Sea Leg Journeys. Next week I think it's going to be on Scott, right?
Nope, Alisa's.
Oh, next week is Alisa, and then
next week.
No, it's you.
It is me.
Okay,
it's controversial cruising. Let's try that again this week.
This week, Sea Leg Journeys. Next week, controversial cruising, and the following week, Alisa's Adventures in Cruising. Don't forget to subscribe to us over there on YouTube and on Spotify at the Conscious Cruiser.
That's right.
I love that. Guys, we're out of practice because, hurricanes. So please, I apologize on my behalf. All right, we got question number 3 here for you. Can I bring my own drinks and soda and coffee, stuff like that, on my cruise? Alisa, do you know the answer to that question?
Well, are we talking non-alcoholic or alcoholic beverages?
Both.
Both. You can bring, and you need to check the individual cruise lines. Most cruise lines will let you bring at least 1 bottle of wine on board, wine, champagne, that kind of thing on board. But I did find out, because I just was on MSC Cruise Lines, they are the exception to that rule. You cannot bring alcohol of any kind aboard their ships. So
that's right.
Double check. Most allow you to bring at least 1. If there's 2 adults in the cabin, that 1 each, so it'd be 2. But there are exceptions, so check it out.
And by adult, she means 21 or over, not 18, 21.
No.
It's different on a cruise ship. Everybody got to be 21, right?
Correct. And you can't bring any liquor, but you can prepay and have a bottle delivered to your cabin, depending on the cruise line. I know Carnival lets you do that too. So it is a little pricey, but I mean, hey, it could be worth it.
Yeah.
That's still a good money-saving tip, though. Pre-order that bottle of coconut rum to your cabin and order that 12-pack of soda, and look how many drinks you got for... You're probably saving some money on that. I know we're not talking about saving money, but it's what can you bring? Well, what about the soda? Can you bring the soda on board?
Yeah, most cruise lines will let you bring at least a 12-pack of soda, right? A 12-pack or a 6-pack of soda at least. Something that I want to add would be coffee, and I don't think a lot of people realize you can bring your own coffee beans, your own ground. Can't bring the coffee grinder, but your own ground coffee grounds. If you're like me and like to make your own coffee, I have these little pods, these little camping pods. Many of you have seen them. You put the coffee in, you put the hot water in, and you make your own drip. I don't really like the cruise line's coffee and their coffee beans. I'm not a big Lavazza fan, so Lavazza, don't come after me, but I bring my own coffee. But leave it in the original bag, because I have been I'll tell you that in later, but leave it in the original bag. Don't just leave coffee grounds in a Ziploc bag or something like that.
Excellent tip.
What about bottled water?
Yeah, what about bottled water, Alisa?
Bottled water, we like to stay hydrated. You can, again, it depends on the cruise line, but again, one of those things that I learned from just going on MSC is that you could not bring bottled water, or you did not have the option of prepaying it, having it delivered to the cabin either, which was a surprise to me. I always done that on Royal and Carnival, and sometimes you need some water. So if you're going on MSC, and I think one of our listeners reminded me or let me know before that it's a good idea to bring one of those refillable water bottles, or one of your big cups, like a Stanley cup kind of thing, if you want to make sure you at least have a basic drink in your cabin.
Do they have a water package on board on MSC where it's like the Bubbles package or whatever? It includes soda, but it also includes bottled water, or do they just make you pay a la carte for water bottles on MSC?
You know what? I didn't actually end up buying bottled water. I just made sure I had something when I got to the buffet or whatever. They do serve bottled waters they serve you water in the main dining room from a bottle, but it's poured into a glass, so you cannot take it with you.
Oh, that's interesting too. Well, when I was researching this a little bit, I did not realize this at first, but you can only bring drinks on embarkation day. In other words, you can't get off in Cozumel and go bring a bottle of wine on or soda. I was kind of surprised. I never thought about that, but it says here on the Carnival site, on embarkation day, a small quantity of non-alcoholic beverages, that being sparkling water, sodas, energy drinks, juice, and milk, packaged in cans or cartons. Cans or cartons, so no more plastic bottles, guys. That's important to know too. They can be brought on board on embarkation day. They must be in the guest carry-on luggage. So if you put it in your drop-off bag that you let the porters take, it may not be in your suitcase when you get back. And the small quantity is considered to be a maximum of 12 ounce cans or cartons. I was like, okay, I never really dived into that much before to know. Only on embarkation day, and only 12 ounces, and no plastic bottles anymore.
Well, I don't want to tell on myself, but the vlog hasn't come out yet, but I definitely brought a 12-pack of Coca-Cola back from Kona, and they just let me right back. Let me go right through.
I wonder if that's what I was just going to say. I wonder if it's because it's an American port. If you're going to a foreign port, I don't know if they consider that like a duty item, that you would not be able to just bring on, but normally they don't let you.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Some stuff we've been cruising for years, and we still like, whoa, we're still finding stuff out. Yeah. I was like, I did not know that. All right,
ABC store now because a woman on the ship wanted a 12-pack of Coke, and she didn't want to take the tender boat over, so she asked me if I would do her a favor. I don't drink soda like ever, so I brought it back for her, and I didn't even think about it being maybe them saying no, that you can't take it. So I mean, it was in a bag and everything. It went right through the conveyor belt, so they saw it. They knew what it was.
Did she have you bring a package of gummies on too?
No, nope.
Just wondering, asking for a friend.
Gummy bears.
Did you ask questions before bringing this on board for someone?
Oh yeah, I met her in the Facebook group. Ellen,
can you bring that mysterious suitcase duffel bag over there on the edge of the pier?
Sure, I'll grab it.
Extra tips right here at the Conscious Cruiser that you might need to go. And don't forget, this Monday at 8:30 we're going to be bringing this to you out. Well, we are bringing it to you right now on, where is it?
Hi, I'm Robin. This is Chet, and we're Sea Lake Journeys.
That's right. So come on with us, and we're going to show you the ships, the ports, and the excursions that we do while we're cruising.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and of course, YouTube.
That's right. So come on and join us on all the fun things we're going to do. We also have live shows Wednesday and Friday morning at 8:30 Eastern Time and Sunday night at 6 p.m. So come on and join us there too.
And don't forget, we have a wide variety of videos on YouTube, from everything from the food to the rooms to the excursions to the ships.
That's right. So come on and join us for the fun here at Sea Lake Journeys. Okay, well, I'm going to join the fun at Sea Lake Journeys. I don't know about y'all, but it looks pretty fun.
I always join the fun at Sea Lake Journeys. I love Sea Lake Journeys.
We love it.
Well, we got our final question here, and this is a really interesting question. I had to go out and talk to Robin from Sea Lake Journeys to get my facts straight on this one. But the question is, have you ever been searched or asked to step aside while going to the cruise ship, while you're boarding it with your luggage? Have you, Scott? Have you ever got pulled over to the side?
Yes, I have.
Tell us about it.
Ooh, it's a
Why does
juicy
this not
one.
surprise us?
I want to know.
So,
We want to know. Let's hear it.
Earlier this year, when I was going on the Jubilee out of Galveston, Texas, we had gone to Buc-ee's before, because when in Texas, go to Buc-ee's, right? We got a whole bunch of snacks on top of the snacks that I already brought, but we got some snacks, and we got the Buc-ee's bag and 2 or 3 Buc-ee's bags, and I was carrying one, and the one with all the snacks. And apparently the dog thought my snacks were some kind of, I don't know, contraband. The dog alerted, and they pulled me over. They pulled out all of my clothes, and they searched everything. They were super nice, and they found my coffee. Here we go, circling back to the coffee story. My coffee beans in a bag, in a Ziploc bag. Is this coffee? I said, it absolutely is. I said, I make my own coffee. I have the coffee pods, and they instructed me that they had to take it. It's like, oh, it's like $16.99 a pound, dude. What are you doing? It's like, when do you go to your next port? I was like, not for like 3 days. And he's like, ooh, you're going to be out of coffee for like 3 days. And they were like, they got cameras and everything, so they got to take it. And the reason why they had to take it, I mean, they weren't looking for the coffee. It wasn't the reason why. The dog alerted because of the snacks, and they said that. They apologized. But they had to take it since they were already looking, and they found it. And it was in an unmarked bag. That's what it was. And they all confirmed, oh, it's coffee. They're not going to test it, but they have to take it because it's just in an unmarked bag. And it would be the same thing if it were chips. It would be the same thing if it were gummy bears, just in a bag like that. They have to take it because it's not marked in with anything. So it could have anything in it, apparently.
Unmarked medication could probably have that happen too.
Yep, unmarked medication. So yes. So there's a little lesson, and then they let me go, and it was a funny story, and I got some shorts on the page about it, and the dog sniffing me. So it was a whole funny thing.
What about you, Alisa? You ever got pulled over?
No, but I have to say the watching the dogs go down the line is enough for me. Like I'm not interested in them alerting. You know what I mean? Like we're animal lovers. We love dogs. And you're like, oh, look, the dog. Oh yeah, he's working. You know, so you don't want him to come over to say hello. But along those lines of what Scott is talking about, I have seen the dog stop and alert. They did have some kind of gummies that you're talking about, and the bag was open. So they do detect those. Just saying, you guys think that the dog is not going to, because it's in a sealed bag, or because it's just a gummy, they do. They alert on those too. So
Well, we've had 2 occasions. Yeah, 2. One of them we knew about. They pulled us over to the side immediately, and they said, hey, we need to look inside this bag. We was like, okay. And they pulled it out, and we had a case inside the bag, and they opened up the case, and the guy goes, what is that? And we said, well, it's a gimbal. It's a gimbal. You know, you put your camera on it, and they're like, oh, okay. The gimbal's fine. We just wanted to make sure it wasn't a drone. Drones are not allowed. But they wanted, going through the x-ray machine, they could not tell. They thought it might be a drone. So we had to open it up and show them that it was just a gimbal. So it was okay. The second time, we didn't even know we got searched until we got to the cabin. There was our luggage with a note attached to it that said, Your lug was chosen at random, a random search. We open it up, look through it, and if you find that anything is missing or broken, please let the front desk know. So they do random searches sometimes too.
Right.
I wouldn't have known that unless it happened to us, which it did. So it could happen to you. You may find a note on your luggage that they went through it just because 1, 2, 3, 4, you're the fourth bag or whatever. And they're looking for whatever they find, whether it be coffee, gummy bears, drones, anything illegal or legal that's not properly packaged. They're going to find that stuff on random searches sometimes, which I didn't even know.
Was anything broken or missing from your bag, or was it like, nope.
Everything was fine.
Cool.
We just thought, wow, that's a story to tell one day.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
There you go.
So they can check you for something that they see going through the scanner, or they can just randomly check. Just so you know before you go, and that's what we like to do here at the Conscious Cruiser, give you information to help you know before you go so you don't get any surprises. And I sure am glad to be working here with Alisa and Scott because, man, I feel like I learn so much every time we do one of these episodes.
Every time.
Love it. 11 episodes in. Can you believe it? Almost a dozen.
Yeah.
Woo. Look at us go.
Yeah, we're going to have to go for a drive and listen to them in the podcast because, watching them on YouTube, we like doing that, but we also like hearing it in the car when we're driving people crazy. I mean, driving to the store. You know what I mean.
It is fun listening to it on the radio. It is.
I love listening to Spotify.
What have y'all got going this week? Who wants to kick us off first? Let us know what's going on your channel before we leave.
Well, I'll see you guys later on today for the Monday Mood Check at 7 p.m.
That's right.
Me too. I'll be there.
Me too. Now that I have power and internet.
Yay! What you got, Scott?
And for me, I have my regular Wednesday Cruise Talk Live. I believe Bill and I will be back this Wednesday. Thursday, I'll be Thirsty Thursdaying. Might be Thirsty Thursdaying by myself, but I'll be Thirsty Thursdaying. Friday, I'll be with Chris, Liz, Greg, Michelle, and Tanya and Timmy from Event Your Spirits as our special guest on the match game. So join us. I know we had to close the Sea Wave Lounge due to Milton. Milton closed even the virtual Sea Wave Lounge down. Hurricane Milton, yeah. And then Saturday, I'll have my podcast. And then I'll be right back here next week with you guys.
Well, Sea Lake Journeys will be running Wednesday and Friday morning at 8:30 and Sunday night at 6 p.m. And that's what we'll be doing until we get ready to go on a cruise very shortly.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm sure I'm glad to be working with the three of us on the Conscious Cruiser.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, until next time then, we'll say goodbye and we'll be seeing you around our channels.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Where's it at? There we go.
Guys.